Welcome to the Curator's Corner on Museum Monday on the 8th week of the virtual pilgrimage. I am Sarah Bone, a park ranger at Manzanar National Historic Site. I am also a collateral duty museum assistant. In the National Park Service, one of the ways we preserve America's stories is to preserve the items that represent them. We are grateful that many people have chosen to donate their family items to Manzanar to safeguard the past and educate present and future generations. This week's theme is End of War to Redress. We'll be exploring items donated by Peter Wakamatsu in 2005. One reason we picked this collection is the number of archival items pertaining to the Matsuura family's transition from Manzanar to resettlement in New York City at the end of the war. This, however, will be a different kind of Curator's Corner. In our past programs, we have featured items with stories enhanced by oral history interviews provided by family members. For the Matsuura family, other than a few primary sources found in genealogical research, the donated items are all we have to tell their remarkable story. We can learn so much from these simple items, but they raise many questions. The questions allow us to think about the personal experiences and stories of the family connected to these inanimate objects. Shitaro Matsuura was born in Kanazawa City on May 1, 1889. Fusue Kitaka was born on January 26, 1899 in Hiroshima-ken. They both immigrated to the United States in 1918, but not at the same time. They married in San Francisco on May 28, 1921. We do not have many records of their first years in the U.S. Why did they leave Japan? Did they know anyone in the United States? Did they intend to stay forever or return to Japan after making it rich? What jobs did they have to get by in this new place? The births of their children begin to show their movement and eventual settlement in Los Angeles. Shigeko Ruth was born in San Diego County in 1922. Fumiko Francis was born in Imperial County in 1923, and Sanai joined the family in 1926 in Los Angeles. The 1930 census tells us that they were living on West 12th Street and that Shitaro owned and operated a vegetable store. Sanai died in 1938. We don't know why or how the family reacted to this loss. The two older sisters attended and graduated from Los Angeles High School. By 1940, the family had moved to Irolo Street, but Shitaro still owned his own vegetable store. How did they learn about Pearl Harbor? What was their reaction? What was high school like as Fumiko finished up her senior year in 1942? As an Issei, Shitaro had to register on February 6, 1942. How did this affect his work at the vegetable store? How did he feel about being deemed an alien by the same government that didn't allow him to naturalize as a U.S. citizen? On March 20, 1942, Shitaro received a change of address form for Manzanar. He reported for work as a foreman on the 26th. We learn from other documents that Fumiko arrived on April 2nd. It appears Shitaro was what was referred to as a, quote, volunteer, one of the men who came early to Manzanar in the hopes of assisting with the building of the facility and establishing themselves better for when their families arrived. They came up in an army caravan with their own cars. The men were often promised they could keep the cars for when they could leave camp, but the government did not keep these promises. How did Shitaro feel he was treated by the government at Manzanar? What would the future hold for his family's treatment? On June 23, 1942, Shitaro received a check of $35 for his car that he sold to the Army. This is the equivalent to about $553 today. Did he expect to lose his car after having lost his home and his business? How did the family feel when they received this check? What would it mean to face life after Manzanar without a car? Shitaro seems to have had many jobs. Besides various foreman jobs, he also was an internal police officer and drove a WRA vehicle. One of the many jobs at Manzanar was Foreman B of the pig farm. This is part of his 4-page report on the pig farm that appears in the Manzanar agricultural reports. After owning his own business before the war, what did he think of these labor-intensive jobs at Manzanar? How did these jobs prepare him for what he would experience when rebuilding his life after the war? Curator's interest in art seems to have gone beyond his skill in pig reporting. He had this wooden plaque commissioned by Sozo Okamoto, a carpenter. What relationship did Curator have with Mr. Tsujifuji? How did his view of the war change over time and due to his incarceration? Shigeko was 20 years old when she entered Manzanar. 2 of the items she had in camp were these books. Did reading carry her away from the barbed wire and guard towers? Did it allow her to dream about what life would be like after Manzanar? In early 1943, the government required everyone 17 and older to answer the so-called loyalty questionnaire. This form was meant to clear those incarcerated to apply to leave Manzanar. Fumiko prepared her answers to the loyalty questionnaire on March 22nd. She answered yes, yes to questions 27 and 28, but we can learn more about her through her other answers. She attended Japanese language school for 5 years and was Episcopalian. She worked with her father's store and took ballet lessons. Did she make her decisions on questions 27 and 28 alone or through discussions with her family or friends? What went through her mind as she puzzled over the meaning and implications of the question? Fumiko went through all of the challenges and fears of Manzanar while enduring health difficulties. She had a tumor on her tongue and received treatment at Los Angeles General Hospital during her incarceration. This is a page of a diary she kept while a patient at LA General from November 14, 1942 to March 18, 1943. She continued treatment at Manzanar through October. What was her treatment like at Manzanar compared to what she received elsewhere? How did she cope with such a scary health ordeal? How did her incarceration and unknown future impact her already difficult situation? Did her health prompt her to think of leaving Manzanar for better treatment? Shigeko left Manzanar for New York City on April 9, 1943. As Fumiko began to prepare to join her, she would have packed her ration book and indefinite leave card. She departed on October 13, 1943. Why did the sisters choose New York City? Were they excited or afraid? How did Shitaro and Fusei react? Were they proud? Were they lonely with their daughters on the other side of the continent? Shitaro and Fusei joined their daughters in New York City in October 1945. They received exit papers and bought their train tickets. After over 3 years, how did they feel about Manzanar as they left? Were they ready to start life again in New York City with their children by their sides? What did the end of the war mean to them? Did they feel like it was an end to their incarceration, the beginning of their freedom, or something else entirely? Objects can represent many things. They can tell future generations of the experiences of the past. They can force us to ask hard questions. How would you have reacted to the circumstances met by the Matsumura family? How would you endure? These are the kinds of questions we can begin to ask to link their experiences to ours and learn from their history. Simple items like these can help us consider or reconsider the past in relation to our own experiences and can help us look at ourselves and our times through a different lens, informed by those who came before us. Thank you for joining us for this week's Curator Corner. You can learn more about Manzanar National Historic Site through our website, our Facebook and Instagram accounts, and our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please contact me, Sarah Bone, via email.